Most people think of Catan as a board game you play once or twice a year with friends. But what if you could play it at any time with players around the world and earn some PlayStation trophies while doing so? Today, I'm talking about why Catan Online might be one of the most underrated games out there for people looking for a chill game to play by themselves or with friends, and for trophy hunters or board game fans too. I'm going to explain why you should play this game if you fall into any of these groups. But first, let's get you familiar with the mechanics of the game. Catan Online is a board game most commonly played with 4 players, adapted into a video game. The game is made up of 19 hex tiles, with 18 of them being resource tiles, consisting of brick, wood, wheat, sheep, and ore. The last tile is a desert with no value. The objective of the game is to use a combination of your resource tiles to score 10 points. One way to score points is by building settlements, which requires 1 brick, wood, wheat, and sheep resource, which upon building earns 1 point. You can also upgrade your pre-placed settlements into cities, using 2 wheat and 3 ore to earn an additional point. All your settlements and cities must be placed at least 2 sides of a hexagon tile away from the closest settlement or city of any player. They also must be connected by your roads. Roads can be built using 1 brick and 1 wood. Upon building 5 or more roads, you earn the longest road title, which is worth 2 points, but you can lose the title and its associated points if someone's road becomes longer than yours. An additional way to earn points is through development cards. After spending a wheat, sheep, and ore, you'll draw a random card, and some of these allow for some crazy plays to be made. The cards vary from things like building 2 free roads, to getting to take all of a certain resource from all players in the game. There are 2 specific development cards we're focused on when talking about points though. The first is the victory point card, which straight up gives you 1 point towards your 10 needed to win. The other card is the Knight, which allows you to move the robber to any tile on the board and steal a random card from any player settled around that tile. After using 3 Knights, you'll acquire the largest army title, and 2 points until someone raises an army larger than yours. The robber starts on the desert and is moved anytime somebody rolls a 7, which is the most common roll in the game, or when someone plays a knight. Both instances allow you to move the robber to a tile of your choosing and steal a card from a player, while also blocking that tile from producing any resources until the robber has been moved. That's the basics of the game, and it's pretty easy to grasp the surface level mechanics, but the game in practice requires extremely strategic thinking. You'll need to decide what starter resources you want based on where the resources are located on the map, along with the number associated with each resource tile indicating how likely they are to be rolled. This will help you pick your starter settlement spots, but you will now have to decide where your roads will point off, as this will likely decide the direction you're going to build in next. You'd think this sounds simple so far, but you don't get your first choice of settlement spots, as the game uses a snake selection system for the 4 players. So if you pick first, you pick the first spot and the last spot, and if you pick 4th out of the 4 players, you pick the 4th and 5th spots. After getting through the mentally taxing beginning of the game, you hopefully have a strategy selected to reach 10 points. Maybe you'll build a lot of settlements in a few cities, or you could build a lot of cities and a few settlements. Perhaps you'll take your chances rolling development cards. You could even try to take the game hostage by having majority control over one of the resources. But the strategy you have in mind at the start usually won't be the one you end with, as you have to constantly adapt based on how many points you and the other players have and where everyone is building on the board. With the surface level and some deeper mechanics explained, let's get into why you should play this game. Let me start by saying the online version is a great adaptation of the physical board game, and I would know, I've played the physical version plenty of times. Not only is the online version true to form, but it actually has some perks that benefit people new to the game and the most experienced players. The physical version can't compete with. First of all, you don't have to set up or clean up the board, which can take 5 or so minutes on both ends, and you won't have to worry about losing any pieces. The game also will keep track of resources, cards, points, and whose turn it is, so you can actually focus on the fun part of the game. You can also forget about constantly thumbing through the rulebook, as the game won't let you make any illegal moves. Another great thing about this version can be seen by looking back at the beginning of this video, where I said you think of this game as something you play once or twice a year. With this online version, those limitations are thrown out the window, and you can play with friends, family, randoms, or by yourself whenever you'd like. People already into Catan should be sold by now based on these advantages, but for my people looking for their next chill game, let me say this. In this game, you won't have to worry about mastering complicated controls or having your reflexes on point. Instead, you'll be focused on strategy, negotiation, and hoping to have some luck on your side. It's the kind of game you can play while talking with your friends about whatever in a party chat, or just chill out after a long day. Catan is also a great game for trophy hunters. It has 24 trophies, including a platinum trophy. And the game currently has less than 1,000 platinum owners on PSNP, so earning it will really differentiate your list and put you in an elite group. The game is probably very different to anything you've tried and could help branch out your tastes. Also, it's a very good chill game to play when you need a break from a long grind or a difficult game. The game will make you a better strategic thinker, and trophies aren't too bad either. There's a couple semi-tricky situational ones, but other than that, you can get the rest in around 22-hour-ish games. But if that's not quick enough for you and you want to forego what this game has to offer, you could recruit 3 other hunters and boost it in about 6 hours. I'll now give you a quick breakdown of my experience with the trophies. First, I earned the easiest trophy in the game by moving the robber and stealing a card from another player. I then earned the longest road title in my first game for having 5 roads connected, which earned me a trophy, and led to me having a road 10 pieces long, getting me yet another trophy, and was a major reason I won this first game, netting me an additional trophy. Then in my next game, I focused on rolling development cards for knights, and by pocketing a knight until I rolled a 7, I was able to move the robber twice in one turn, and steal a trophy. By this point, I played 3 knights and gained the largest army title, and the Show of Force trophy. Since 7 moves the robber, and it's the most common role in the game, by the time I got midway through my second game, I'd moved the robber 10 times and earned the associated trophy. I was very successful in this game rolling development cards and lucking out into them being knights, so I earned one of the harder trophies in the game to have 6 knights at once. Then the game finished, and as a byproduct of buying so many development cards to get knights, I had 3 pocketed victory cards, which there was a trophy to end the game with. In my next game, I set my player color to yellow, and after earning the longest road title, I earned the We're Off to See the Wizard trophy. I then got some unconventional but easy trophies by building 3 roads in one turn, and by building a settlement and turning it into a city in the same turn. By this point, I had half the trophies in the game without much effort, and the remaining ones could be earned by doing a little grinding and focusing on a few specific strategies. The first of these I targeted was a city building strategy trophy, requiring me to have 4 cities built in one game. I then had done enough grinding to have a couple trophies come through. First, I claimed the longest road title for the 10th time, and a trophy. Later in that game, I traded away my 200th resource at ports to ship another trophy to me. And lastly, still in the same game, I upgraded my 20th settlement into a city for a trophy. I then went back to my city building strategy to win a game with all my settlements turned into cities, which I could have done earlier by pairing this with the trophy for building 4 cities in one game, but I accidentally won that game too fast. I knocked out another small grind by trading away 100 resources to other players for a trophy, then got a super situational trophy, which is arguably the platinum blocker, where you have to disrupt the longest road by building in the middle of it. This is easier on the board game, as there's more visual distraction going on, but with the online game's clean UI, it made this a little more difficult. But after constantly looking for opportunities to do this while working on my grindy trophies, I finally found mine and got it done. I got another grind checked off by building my 50th settlement. Finally, I won 5 games by flipping development cards at the end, which had made the game a bit of a headache up to this point because I had to make sure I rolled development cards enough to get a victory point card before winning the game, or the win would be for nothing. By this point, I built my 200th road for another trophy, and now only had 1 trophy left for gaining the largest army 10 times, and after doing so, I earned that trophy and the Veteran Catanian Platinum Trophy. I hope I was able to convince you to check out the game, whether you are looking for a chill game, you're a trophy hunter, or a Veteran Catanian. I also hope you enjoyed what I believe is the only Catan Platinum Trophy video on YouTube. This game currently doesn't have a guide on PSNP, so let me know if you think I should make one. Subscribe if you enjoyed this video, and you want to see more PlayStation trophy hunting content from me. And as always, thanks for watching.